Panzers would not suddenly run out of ammunition. The crew would understand roughly how many rounds they get off in an engagement and note how many they have remaining while on the line or advancing. German tanks carried standard loads for ammunition and a certain number of rounds. For example, the Tiger tank had space for 92 armor-piercing or high-explosive rounds for the main gun, with no storage in the turret. General experience tended to show that ammunition in the turret was a likely cause of ammunition explosions. However, prisoner reports stated that up to 100 rounds could be carried inside a Tiger tank, so roughly 50 high-explosive and 50 armor-piercing rounds. According to this and some other statements, some Panzer crews would overload their tanks to have sufficient ammunition to carry on for considerable amounts of time. As the war progressed, rounds got bigger and bigger, therefore there was less available storage space and the number of rounds carried diminished. That's why logistics is so important in active operations. There's actually an elaborate integrated logistics system extending from the individual tank all the way back to supply depots in the home nation. From the perspective of a tank crewman though, he will extract far enough from the forward edge of the battle area to join up with the first level of his supply echelon. The general procedure of ammo resupply is the following. A platoon of tanks will resupply with what's absolutely essential, using the cover of terrain to do so while out of contact with the enemy. The process takes place as fast as possible because the tanks are needed back in the fighting. All armies have resupply line. A Panzer regiment has ammo trucks that follow close behind and do both scheduled and emergency resupplies, normally achieved by platoons of tanks dropping back to a hide, reloading one at a time while being covered by the remaining tanks. Then they rotate. As soon as a unit starts moving forward, the whole series of logistic loops starts moving too. This is why, particularly in armored formations, there are often as many support and logistic troops as frontline fighting troops. This echelon is resupplied from a battalion, regiment, or division-level logistics organization, and so on all the way back. At the beginning of the war, simple trucks were used to transport ammunition, but later, parallel with the trucks, obsolete tanks started to be used in this role as well. The turret and the main gun was removed, but the bow machine gun was kept for defensive purposes.